Here's an interview from one of our past shows on Rock and Metal Revival. If you're interested in hearing full shows, go to our Facebook page and check out our list of affiliates for times and places where you can hear Rock and Metal Revival. There is Fozzy Insane on Rock and Metal Revival. And Jerry, I've said this before, Fozzy, one of the great live bands out there. If you ever get a chance to see them live,
yeah, definitely.
Well worth the price of admission. And with us today is Fozzy guitarist Rich Ward. Welcome to Rock and Metal Revival, Rich.
Hey, God, it's such an honor to be here with you guys, Jerry and Greg, and it's a beautiful day in Atlanta, Georgia. How are you guys doing?
You know, in beautiful southern Wisconsin, it's 36 degrees, so it's a good day.
But it's sunny, so it feels like 40.
Yeah, it's not festival weather, but we're getting there. Hey, Rich, just like I said, I think Fozzy is one of the best live bands out on the road right now, and you guys are getting set to head out on the Saving the World Tour, which kicks off March 31st. You got to be excited about getting out there and seeing the fans again.
Yeah, it's a real privilege. We've all been, anxious to do this. I mean, all of us have been in a weird place in the last couple of years where, we started off being very, very careful because we didn't know what was ahead of us, and now we can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, and everybody's gearing up for springtime festival touring and bands back out on the road again, and it's exciting because as musicians, for us in the band, this is what we live for, is being able to get out there and be a part of this incredible rock and metal community, and do what we love, do what we were born to do.
So how has touring changed? I mean, you went out earlier in the fall. How has it changed from pre to post? I mean, pandemic kind of. Is it worth it? Is it worth it? Was it a pain in the butt with all the restrictions and stuff?
Well, I never consider anything you have to do to make the fans safe and to make the show happen a burden or a pain in the butt. I mean,
I didn't mean that. Yeah.
No, I know exactly what you mean. I didn't take it that. I was more of just saying I would do whatever it took. I would crawl across broken glass to be able to play guitar for a living. And this, we got it made because, all my friends who I grew up with playing guitar with in high school, I was the one guy who made that narrow shoot into making records and touring for a living. And it's such a privilege to be able to do it. So, you just do whatever they say. I mean, it really just comes down to, we've toured all over the world, and every country has different customs and different ways of doing things, and you learn to be flexible. And you learn to just, when we play Switzerland, there's a 98 decibel limit in the country. So just to give you an idea, 110 decibels is what the sound of a snare drum sounds with no microphone on it. So you literally have to adjust everything you do to keep underneath the volume that they require in the country. But you want to play in Switzerland, so you do what it takes. And it's it's changed. Things are opening back up. We just got a message that our venue in Connecticut is no longer requiring any mask mandates or any vaccine cards and things. And so I think people are starting to feel like whatever strain is out there right now is kind of in the rearview mirror, and also is not as deadly as the Delta. And people are, I think it's just coming down to people are just going to have to make up their mind if they feel like they're healthy enough and feeling good about going out and listening to rock bands in a crowded environment, then make those decisions. And those who don't feel comfortable, wait until it feels right for you. And I think that's the best that all of us can do.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
Rich, I was a fan of the band Stuck Mojo, and when you guys when you made Fozzy, now you guys are going into your 23rd year of existence as Fozzy. And when this thing all started back in 1999, did you ever imagine that we'd be talking about a Fozzy tour in 2022? I mean, I know the hope was there.
Yeah, life is just crazy. I met Chris Jericho backstage at a WCW Nitro event because Stuck Mojo had just done a music video with Diamond Dallas Page and a few other wrestlers. And we were kind of intertwined in the Atlanta wrestling scene, which is where Turner Broadcasting, WCW, was out of. Mm-hmm. And I met Chris backstage, and we started talking about rock and metal and all. It turns out we grew up loving the same bands, and we just had this great conversation. And I had a little jam band that I did on the side called Fozzy Osbourne. That was a covers band. We used to play Ozzy and Maiden and Priest and Scorpions and Van Halen. And I said, you know what? You should come out and sing and be the guest singer for this band. It would be fantastic. And of course, never in a million years did I think that would, then have us 8 albums later and 23 years later. And just, it's crazy, but it just goes to show you that if the love for the music comes first, because we never thought about being famous or making money. This was a passion project for us. And everything that Chris Jericho and myself and the guys have done with Fozzy has all just been decisions based on a love for music and a common bond that we have and a mutual passion and love for music. And we've just stuck to it, and we've all had separate, Chris is a famous wrestler, and he's on Dancing with the Stars, and he's got a famous podcast, and he does a million things. And then the rest of us have a couple of other bands that we continue to do as well. But luckily for us, our band just keeps growing, and the success keeps. I mean, our last record, Judas, just went gold, and
nice.
I don't even know how this happens, right? It's the thing where you knock on wood every time you pass a desk, and you just thank the heavens that the doors keep opening for us, and our motto is every cracked door we just charge through with as much love and power and enthusiasm as we have.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while I'll tune in on Wednesday night to AEW, and I'll see the whole crowd singing along when Chris Jericho comes out to Judas. That must be pretty cool, especially when the music stops and the crowd just keeps singing. It's
incredible. It is an absolutely incredible phenomenon. And the first time it happened, Chris has his own cruise, which is a rock and wrestling cruise that goes out every year. And the first time that the crowd ever sang along was on the cruise 2 years ago. And then it just kind of caught fire. It wasn't anything that was planned or prompted or encouraged by Chris. It's just something that happened organically, which makes it even more special.
Yeah, exactly.
This was just something that happened.
Yeah.
When I've been a wrestling fan all my life, and when you guys first all got together to form Fozzy, I thought to myself, I just don't see Jericho, but okay.
But he sounds good. I was like, holy cow.
I'm talking as a front man. He is an amazing front man now. I mean, he has really become a front man.
Yeah, and it's interesting because people at the very beginning, I had lots of friends in the industry who kind of privately sidebarred me and said, "Hey, are you sure this is something you want to do? Because it seems a little silly, right? You've got this reputation as this guitar player from this, Stuck Mojo band, and you sure people may not take you seriously being in a band with a professional wrestler." And I always just follow my passion. And Chris and we had such a cool bond, and again, the chemistry was just so good. And after the first few shows, we knew this was gold. I mean, Johnny Zazula, who just passed away, the founder and owner of Megaforce Records, signed us after our second show, and we just knew this was gold, right? And I don't mean gold as in financial gold. I just meant in creativity. And the thing about Chris is that he was naturally born to lead an army up the mountain with bayonets on the front of the rifle.
Yeah.
He just has that thing. If you've seen wrestling, you know how just his magnetism is incredible. And it was very unusual at first for fans because they're so used to seeing him in a different scenario that it was kind of difficult to kind of make that mental transition to seeing him as a rock and roll singer. But to Chris's credit, all the flack that he got from people and people who were a little down on him and gave him grief, he just said, "Hey, I love doing this. I'm not doing this so you'll pat me on the back. I want to play in a band. I love this. These are my guys. This is my gang. We're going to go out and do it." And he stuck with it so long that eventually people stopped saying, "Well, this is Chris's vanity project," because they knew it was the real deal. Because vanity projects are you do it for a few years and then you get tired of it and you move on to something else. This is part of Chris's life that he's passionate about, and he stayed true to that passion. And I think he's to his credit, he's won people over and proven that he's the real deal.
Yeah, definitely. Now, you got a new bass player, PJ Farley from Trickster. Does that mean you guys are going to break out some Trickster tunes?
We shall not.
Oh, thank you. Just wanted to clarify.
Oh man, the greatest thing about it was during the pandemic downtime, Chris, one of his favorite bands in the world is Kiss. So he wanted to do this Kiss tribute band, and PJ Farley is also a huge Kiss fan. So they got together and recorded a couple of songs. You know how everybody was doing these kind of Zoom recordings together?
Yep, I saw
so they did a couple of those. Yeah, they did a couple of Zoom Kiss songs together. And then when our bass player decided to retire from the road, Chris and I both said, God, I mean, PJ's the guy. I mean, he's the nicest guy, the most talented guy. He's a rock star. And it just made perfect sense. It was just like it was supposed to happen. The one door closed, the other door was open, and, we've just been blessed that we've had, when there have been issues and we've had to make some changes, which you never want to do in a band. We just have been lucky that there's always been somebody already within the family who was standing by and ready to grab a guitar and get in there.
That's awesome. All right, well, it looks like we might have either ran out of time or had
some kind of connection
issue,
got disconnected here, man.
Yeah, but we lost Rich. And they are going to be out on tour, like I said, Fozzy. Go see them. They're going to be in Kansasville April 4th at 1175, and they're going out on the road with GFM and Crash Karma.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So that tour's out on the road. Get your tickets. Go see him. Rich is a great guy. We welcome him here on Rock and Metal Revival. So let's play another one from Fozzy. Let's play Hey Judas.
Cool.
All right.
Sounds good.